Welcome to On the Other Hand, and welcome to any new viewers. Since I started this channel, I wanted to cover abortion, but I didn't know how to approach the topic. I thought about doing a divisive definitions episode because so much of the conversation around abortion seems to consist of semantic shots at the other side, and you can tell so much about where someone stands based on the words they use. But that never felt like quite the right approach. As my wife often says, abortion shouldn't be political, and despite my strong personal opinions, I get where she's coming from. The topic of abortion seems to simultaneously strike discord at the broadest philosophical outlooks on the world, as well as the most personal and private moments in people's lives. So I didn't know how to cover the topic until I saw this clip where Jordan Peterson takes a question about abortion.
Okay, so we only have 15 minutes today. I wanted to finish that, so apologies for going over a little longer. All right.
Sure. Hi, Dr. Peterson. Over the last couple weeks and further back, you talk a lot about consciousness and the importance of it. And I was hoping to get your opinion on an issue of consciousness that has often seen Christianity, among other groups, and politics kind of clash. So I'm hoping to get your views on the consciousness or lack thereof of a human fetus and how that's impacted your views on abortion, whatever they are, and any legislation surrounding that.
Oh. Thank you. Okay, so the first question is, do I have an answer for that that's a good enough answer to actually reveal? No, I don't, but I can flail about a little bit around it. Abortion is clearly wrong. I don't think anybody debates that. You wouldn't recommend that someone that you love have one. Okay, now, having clarified that, that mere statement doesn't eliminate the complexity of the situation. The first question is should everything wrong be illegal? That's a tough question. Everything that's wrong isn't illegal. Then there's the additional complication of the difference, let's say, in gravity regarding the problem in relationship to men and women. And we don't know how to deal with that. Having said that, I would say that it's actually the wrong question. There's something Leonard Cohen said once. He said that in a massacre, there's no decent place to stand. And what he meant by that was sometimes you're where there is no good decision left. No matter what you do, it's wrong. So then the question is, how did you get there? Well, let's say you're in a position where you are inclined to seek an abortion. The question is, how did you get there? Now, we have a lot to straighten out about the sexual relationships between men and women in the modern world. They're bent and warped and demented out of shape. One of the things I see with young people, for example, is that they will engage in sexual acts with one another that they would not talk about with one another. I mean, couples will do that for that matter, like married couples will do that, but they're married, that's a different story. It seems to me that if you are willing to engage in a sexual act with someone with whom you would not discuss that act, you probably put the cart before the horse. So, the discussion regarding the legality of abortion is nested inside a larger discussion about the morality of abortion, and that's nested inside a larger discussion about the proper place of sexuality in human behavior. And to me, that's the level at which the problem needs to be addressed. Now, I don't have the answer to that, because the old answer was get married. That's a good answer, and it's an answer that people should still listen to. I don't think that we're mature enough as a culture to have a serious discussion about sexual propriety, especially in the aftermath of the birth control pill. And we seriously need to do that, and we haven't. And so I think the eternal debate about abortion, horrible as it is it's the surface manifestation of a much deeper problem. Now, I talked a little bit today about the utility of marriage, like the spiritual utility of marriage. And that's something that I think We're so immaturely cynical as a culture. Like we're not wise enough to look at an institution like marriage and to really think about what it means and what it signifies. It signifies a place that people can tie the ropes of their lives together so that they're stronger. It signifies a place where people can tell the truth to one another. It signifies a place where sexuality can properly be integrated into life. That's no easy task. It's a place where children, at least in principle, can be put first and foremost as they should be once they exist. And so there's a much broader discussion that has to happen, I think, before any concentration on the legality of abortion is liable to get anywhere at all. That's what it looks like to me. So that's the best I can do with that question.
To sum up what he said, I think the best quotes were, "I don't think we as a culture are mature enough to have a serious conversation about sexual propriety, and abortion is the surface manifestation of a much deeper problem." In life, we have to constantly answer the question of what is moral. That's hard and complicated. When you get into politics, you have to decide what immoral things should be legal and what things shouldn't be legal, at least in your opinion. Then, you ideally get an aggregate of what most people think and make that into an objective and fair law that gets passed. This is super complicated because, especially on the topic of abortion, people are constantly talking about when and under what circumstances they think it is okay to have an abortion, when in reality, many of the differences in opinions are stemmed from much deeper topics. For example, when does life begin? What are the ethics of different forms of birth control? What is the purpose of marriage? What is the purpose of intimacy? And you have to have an answer to all of these questions on both a personal and societal level in order to have an informed position and productive discussion on the legality of abortion. And on an individual level, when choices about an abortion are being considered, there are no good options. And we have to grapple with that lack of no good options and the choices and circumstances that led to that situation. So to paraphrase a quote from Peterson, abortion is clearly wrong, but it's not that simple. As always, thanks, hope you enjoyed. And if you did, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you'll get notified for new uploads.